Hey there, boys and girls. It's Ralph Garman, and you're listening to Talking Codswallop. Good choice.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. You might know me from the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast and the I Sell Comics podcast. Listen, I love podcasting. I love talking, but what I really love doing is talking Codswallop.
Hey, I'm Alicia Witt.
I'm Daniel Portman from Game of Thrones. I play Podrick Payne.
I'm Ellipses, and you're listening to the Talking... Okay, I'm Mark Bernard, and you're listening to the Talking Codswallop podcast.
Hey man, it's Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, whose voice you were never used to hearing in the 90s until I started opening it up, man. And that's because I'm a podcaster and you're listening to a podcast, Talking Codswallop, right here, man.
Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma.
I am, as ever, the wonderful, brilliant James.
Wow, wouldn't go as far to say wonderful and brilliant, but there you go. It's still James.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, we've had a little catch up out, just off mic there. But I was going to say, how have you been this week, James?
This is one I'm dropping on Gemma, just to drop it all on Salty Tadpoles as well. I'm dropping on Gemma the fact that I'm saying it. I've actually been diagnosed with long COVID, so I am not a very well man, but don't panic about me too much, people. I am just slowly trying to improve. So, but as things I would say is, as illnesses go, I wouldn't recommend it.
No. Yeah. Well, I definitely wasn't expecting you to say, so well done. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, so if you hear any coughing or anything like that, then that's why, yeah, because James really hasn't been a very well boy. No. Well, boy, man, which would you prefer, lad?
Human being will do. But yeah, I've had this for about 3 going into 4 months now, so yeah. I'll try and not cough too much and do other horriblenesses.
Well, as long as you don't blow your nose, we can still be friends.
As tempting as that is.
He said don't worry about you and stuff like that. But, as you know, I have been a bit worried about you. I think it's hard because when somebody's so far away, like I know we have our weekly talk on here and we sort of message back and forth and whatnot. But, it's like when you live so far away from someone and you just want to almost be there to try and help them, It's been really hard for me because I'm that nature that I want to sort of come up and help you, but I know I couldn't
probably
anyway.
The sharp stick. Probably the sharp stick and go, still alive, good stuff.
No, I was trying to be nice. God damn you, James. That was my yearly being nice moment. There you go.
So nice, and she's there wishing damnation upon me.
Not at all, you cheeky bastard.
Never. Well, enough of me and my malingering horriblenesses. How are you, Gemma?
I am well, thank you. I just said to you as well.
Sound like you're weighing that up.
I'm just trying to remember if I am or not, really. This week has just been a pretty much average week, so nothing really exciting has happened, although I did last week go out for dinner for the first time with a couple of friends from work, so that was lovely. Obviously sat outside, absolutely freezing, but, you just warm, don't you? Because that's the only option at the moment. But yeah, it was really nice because it was a couple of people that I work with. So I drove up to Poole to go and see them because they both live up in Poole.
Okay, so, that's good.
Yeah, it was nice to actually get to see them because we talk every day, sort of Monday to Friday, but actually physically seeing someone is different, isn't it? So
yeah. But did it go okay because I've not been out anywhere to have a meal or anything. I've been out obviously walking, so I've got to keep some semblance of exercise with this thing, but I've not done the sitting down outside for a meal yet. So did it go okay? Was it?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, with regards to service, it was pretty well done. It's pretty much like it was before the previous lockdown. So, people coming up to the table to take orders and things. And other than it being really cold, it was really great. Really good service. We really enjoyed it. It's always a nice pub anyway. So, so Baker's Arms in Poole. If anyone's from Poole, go there.
Yeah.
And
can we have some sponsorship from you, please, as an organisation? Pretty please.
Yeah, I don't think that will probably happen, seeing as how they've probably now got to recover loads of costs from being closed for so long. But yes, please.
Hint, hint.
Or at least a free meal.
Yeah, I mean, some money would be nice. That Rolex isn't going to buy itself. So, hint, hint.
It definitely isn't. Actually, I found out my neighbour's got a Rolex.
Very nice. Do you know what model?
No idea. No. She just showed me from afar. And she was like, oh, the strap needs changing or something like that. I was just like, oh, you've got a Rolex. I was like, you posh git.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Actually, did I tell you that my brother found one?
You found a Rolex? Tell me more. No, you didn't. I'm intrigued.
Well, it was on the pavement basically. So it'd either fallen off somebody's wrist or it had fallen off the back of a lorry or something.
So it's not attached to like a severed arm, is it, or something?
No, nothing quite that sinister. But basically, my sister-in-law was going for a walk with the dog, and I think it was on the pavement, but it was out while she was walking anyway, and she happened to find it. She did the decent thing and she handed it into the police because they've obviously got like quite a lot of they've got different coding, haven't they? So it's like if it's like the code is allocated to that one person or whatever, I think, or something. I can't remember exactly the details, but it was worth like 16 grand or something ridiculous like that.
It will be.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what's happened, but I think that nobody came to claim it. So I think it's actually theirs now. I'm not sure.
It's quite possible. Or it may go up. I don't know that thing still stands, but it used to, I think, if something isn't claimed for a certain amount of time, it becomes the property, the person who's handed it in, but probably now they end up going to like a police sale auction. So yeah,
I'm pretty sure though that they have physically got it, but I just can't remember. It's
a shame for the poor person who lost it.
Well, yeah, and I think it was an engraving on the back as well, which was quite sad. So again, I'm not 100% sure on the facts because this happened quite a while ago, so I've forgotten some of the details. It just, it was obviously an amazing find for them, wasn't it? And
very much so.
16 grand, just Lee, if you're listening, if you want to give me 8, just half. It's fine.
Yeah. Come on, Lee, do the decent thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, he's not listening, so...
No. So he's like me, he just doesn't listen to the podcast.
No. He's subscribed, but he doesn't listen, so... yeah, I know. What an arsehole. And you got no excuse at the moment. No, you're off for a bloody month.
I'm like Johnny Depp. I just don't do the stuff that I'm involved with. I never actually see it or listen to it. So
yeah, but you don't listen to the episodes that you're not on either.
If it's cool enough for Johnny Depp, it's cool enough for me. So
Yeah, but you're not cool.
Talk about kicking a man when he's down. I believe this knife in the shoulder blades is yours.
I'll have that back then, please. Thank you.
Just wipe the blood off.
I was going to say, before we get into our codswallops this week, because I don't know if you've got any or not, but I certainly have. We had a late submission to our question of the week last week. Ooh. And I wanted to, instead of just tagging it onto the end, I wanted to give him his dues, sort of thing, and actually read it out on the episode so that you could react to it as well.
Okay.
So obviously last week's question was if you got I haven't got it in front of me, but it was basically if you got 3 wishes, what would you wish for?
Okay.
So the lovely Jamie Westwood messaged in. So Jamie, this is going to be an exception. You're not allowed to do this every week. You're not going to be special every week, okay? But this is your special moment. Before Codswallops. He starts with, right, I took a few days to think of this. Unfortunately, Jamie, you took a little bit too long. 1, I would temporarily like an unlimited supply of money just so that I can clear my debts and make sure my family and friends are safe and comfortable. But I wouldn't want it forever. Yeah, I wouldn't want it forever because let's be honest, money and greed is evil. So that's good. Number 2, a way to make good food that tastes amazing like pizza and cake and not gain weight. So we've had that from both him and Owen. So I think the two of them should team up and actually work something out because I'd so be on board with that. And number 3, for all this loose skin from weight loss to fuck right off so I don't wobble in the wind.
Oh, dear.
Bless him.
He could possibly deal with some of that through the money. Instead of using the third wish, he could get surgery, use the money to get surgery, and then use the third wish for something else. Just thinking outside the box there, Jamie.
Wow.
Outside the box.
Well, there you go then, Jamie, because you have supplied us with a 4th wish if you were able to have it. So James has opened it up there. So you can actually get your skin removed. Well, not all of it, just the left.
Yeah, it doesn't want to be flayed. This isn't like, Martyr, the film Martyrs.
Oh, no, I've seen them.
Unless that's what Jamie wants. That's his shtick.
Yeah. Oh, I've actually seen those films. They're very interesting and they're very, very deep thinking. But, yeah, there's something very, very wrong about them. Like everything. Right,
it's true.
So his 3rd and 4th wish. 3rd and 4th wish?
3rd/4th.
What I meant to say was his now 3rd wish, like final wish, but anyway, whatever. If I get a bonus 4, then for the genie to turn James into a cyclist so he becomes the thing he hates. Love you.
See, I didn't even know there'd be a 3rd/4th wish. So he wants me to become that which don't we all become that which we hate in the long run? So,
well,
you never know.
Well, then.
I think if I became a cyclist, I just wouldn't want to become the complete bastard that, is the guy who's on the road creating problems for cars. If I was to become a cyclist. So I could handle being a cyclist. I would want to be conscientious cyclist, unlike the ones who get in my way when I'm trying to get to places in my car. So I quite like Jamie's idea there. But I would just say, unlike Jamie, I don't want to develop some sort of strange, intimate sexual relationship with my bicycle.
You'd like the seat to stay on instead of it going up your bum. She puts
just
it so politely. Yeah. Well, I think that's a really good thought. And I think because we are drivers, we can be more considerate of the road. The only time that I don't mind is when they swerve when there's like drains or potholes or whatever. Because when they do that, that's because their tyres are so thin. Mm-hmm. So they could easily sort of pop the tyre and then obviously go flying off the bike. But it's...
I failed to see the problem, but carry on.
Yeah, come on. You don't want death to all cyclists. Not all of them.
Not all of them.
At least Jamie's safe, right?
Yeah, Jamie won't really be cycling, or he'll be having interrelations with his bike, so and a lay-by somewhere.
Yeah. Oh dear, moving on quickly. Actually, one thing that I did do yesterday, because I posted it up on our Facebook page, was I re-listened to our episode about Captain Birdseye.
I have no memory of this episode at all, so...
Oh my god, it was so funny. I mean, to be completely honest, I've put that it's the funniest episode ever, but we have probably done funnier episodes. But the ending of that episode was just absolutely hysterical, with me and Andy rolling around on the floor.
I'll have to take your word for it, because I honestly can't remember.
Or you could re-listen.
Well, let's not go too wild with these crazy thoughts of re-listening and tuning into the show.
You could re-listen while you go for your little walks. It will distract you to help you breathe.
And I'm there like puffing and panting.
You won't be able to hear that you're puffing and panting.
That's true.
It's actually quite funny though, because following on from last week, you know how we joked around about you thinking that I was gonna want to go back to a time before you started the podcast.
I'll take your word for it. I don't have a very good memory at the moment. So.
Okay. Well, like I said, we did talk about that and we had a good old laugh about it anyway. And actually, that was one of the early-ish episodes. And your audio was like really crap. And I'm like, I really don't want to go back to this time.
Time when nobody could properly hear me.
Yes.
Alas.
Yeah. And you recorded your own audio, but it was far too far away from your mouth. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. But, you know, that's part of how the show grows, isn't it? And It was also quite sad to sort of hear Andy in a way, because there are times when I miss him. I love the dynamic that we've got now, but there is times when I still sort of sit there and I think, I miss Andy.
You just miss the misery, don't you?
Well, yeah.
The depression, general distaste for humanity that Andy had.
Yeah, pretty much. And the fact that we could all laugh about it. Yeah. So let's move on to our What a Load of Codswallop section. So, James, have you got any Codswallop this week?
Well, just generally my general illness and the crappiness around that, really. Those have been the major things. But no, other than that, I think I'm okay. How about you?
Oh, I've always got Codswallops, James, but don't worry. Did you want to tell us about the exercises that you have to do? Or rather not?
Not really that, but just to give people but I can very quickly go over things. Just to give people an idea of what I've got. It's long COVID. I've had it, as I said, about 4 months, but it leaves you, the general Codswallop on it leaves me absolutely exhausted, and I can have a full night's sleep, and when I wake up, it feels like I've had no sleep. My breathing's, well, pretty much awful. In fact, I get very short of breath very quickly, and you end up with, when you have a really bad time with it, it's like having the most extreme flu known to man, where you've got extreme body aches and your glands are up and other horriblenesses, and the big one is brain fog, so I can't remember things. And when I say I can't remember things, I really cannot remember sometimes doing things, which is like really unnerving. And you can't remember how to do things, and it's very difficult to concentrate. And I would not at all recommend it, but to touch on what you said, they've got me doing, you go through a rehab program to try and get you better from this. And I've had my first one, and it's kind of like, well, basically sort of like armchair aerobics that you do when you're an old person. So there's lots of exercises for trying to get movement back into your limbs better, to do sort of exercises to try and get your lungs working a bit better. And I had my first thing of doing that on Tuesday, and the day after I was absolutely battered by it. And I mean battered, and we discussed this a bit earlier, but I was just so beyond exhausted, and everything felt hurting, and I just awful. So yeah, that's my only Codswallop, really. Not to sound too self-pitying, but it's not much fun. And when I go out and go for a walk, I generally feel like an old man because I run out of breath very, very quickly and have to stop and rest. So yeah, it can be. I have a greater understanding, shall we say, and appreciation for some of the annoyances that older people must have, because I've got to recognise I can't do the stuff I used to be able to do at all. So in the past, say I go hiking, and without a second thought, I go to the gym without a second thought, I have to recognise that I've got to sort of start from the ground and slowly build my way up to try and get any sort of normalcy back into things.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, the thing is that at least as long as you take your time and whatnot with this, then you can only improve at this point, can't you? So
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you can just put your feet up, watch some telly.
They have told me I've got to try and get some sort of exercise, so I do try and I do get out and go for a walk. But yeah, you just got to take it slowly.
Yes.
But yes.
Yeah. But in your rest times, you can sit and watch telly, or you can actually just be like a lazy bum, like I've been telling you to do for your days off anyway. So
yeah. It's very foreign to me, but I will try my best.
Right. Well, let's get on to my codswallops then. We're bored of hearing about James and being ill. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so my codswallops this week. First one is hay fever, because it's been really high this week, or last week, sorry. Today is a typical British day. It's raining again, so it's not too bad today. Well, it's kind of overcast today, but it's still cold and not too bad. But the last few days, oh my God, hay fever has been literally destroying my eyes and my nose and my throat. So that's not been nice.
Which is no fun.
No. And the thing is, as well, it's a real catch-22 as well, because I love the smell of freshly cut grass, but no, it's awful. But it's like when the rapeseed comes out is when I suffer the most. You know, that yellow flower? Yeah. And that's such an inappropriate name for it, but it's not fun. Antihistamines work, but to a point, and then they make you feel sleepy. So it's just, it's a real first world problem here. But, I've gone from, James is being really poorly to me having hay fever and moaning about it. But there you go.
No, but I recognise, because hay fever, because I have that as well, and it's not at all fun. Not at all fun.
No, it isn't. And you just look like you got red eyes from crying, and you haven't been crying. You've just been, sneezing or whatever. So, well, that's fun. My next one is, so I'm not sure if you're going to know by what I've written here, but I've written abbreviated coded corporate words.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So what I mean by this is that for anybody who doesn't know, or just so that I can explain exactly what I mean anyway, that with the company that I work for, they quite often will write, I don't know, GW. They'll abbreviate it down to the first initials of the word, and they'll put GW, and I'm like, why are you putting my name? Because that's my initials. But no, that's a goodwill order. You're supposed to know that. It's a goodwill order. We'll just write goodwill. It's not GW at all. It's goodwill. There's other ones. I can't think of them right at this moment in time, but it's not like the common used ones, like the BTW, which is be right back. That's not be right back. But,
no, that's not be right back.
Yeah, it was by the way, and things like that. That's quite common. But it's when it's the corporate talk. Oh, a customer wrote once, OOO. What do you think that is, James?
Out of order?
Well, close. Out of office.
Right.
I was just like, the hell does that mean? So I had to, it was quite embarrassing, because I had to go back to the customer and I was like, what does that mean? What are you oohing about?
It is a strange one.
Yeah. It's almost like factory corporate lingo that, I've dealt with it in my last job as well as this one, but it just frustrates me that, actually it takes longer than writing the actual word for you to, because then you've got to explain to those who don't know what it is. And those who don't know what it is sometimes might not be as confident as I am to go, I don't know what that is.
Well, that's not the way you actually speak to them, but
yeah. Well, sometimes I go, I don't know. So that one really does grind my gears. There you go. Third and final one. I'm going to tell you a story. Oh, I've got a story to tell you as well, haven't I? But this isn't the story. This is an unrelated story to the next one.
Okay.
That I cleaned my car, and I actually cleaned my car. So hoovered it all inside and out, not out, inside, and washed it by hand, made it look all fancy, wonderful, clean, beautiful. It was like, it's got the kind of paint on it that it's got sparkles in it. So it's kind of like a sparkly paint. So it's really pretty.
Metallic.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Or sparkle, as I like to call it.
Okay.
Probably About half hour later, went back out to my car. A seagull would shit all down the window. Not only the window, all over the door, all over everything. Basically, just covered the car in shit.
Nice.
Yep, I want to now kill that seagull because I'm assuming it's a seagull because most of the time it is a seagull from where I'm from. But at the same time as well, it could be any of the bigger birds. But I reckon it was seagull. Yeah.
Well, a lot of the alleged rumour why the birds, crap all over your car when it after you've washed it's because it's reflective. The reflective, the car becomes more reflective to them, attracts their attention. But I don't know if that's true or not. So
yeah, it kind of does make sense. I reckon there probably is some truth in that because it's like it's shiny. It's like the magpies are attracted to shiny things, aren't they? So it makes sense that all the other birds are. Yeah, but little bastard, whatever it was.
Shotgun time.
Yes. And that would probably be the only time that I'd fire a gun, but get rid of the seagulls because they can be really vicious as well. Especially
I'm not a fan of them.
No, me neither. Especially by the coast because people, tourists tend to feed them because they think, oh, it's innocent, it's just feeding them. But actually what it trains...
The worst thing, yeah.
Yeah, it trains them to actually come in and attack you for the food, as I've said many times before with my many experiences. The battered sausage and the also amazing tuna roll.
It should be shot.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to just go back and listen to the earlier episodes and find out. I'm not going to repeat the story. James isn't allowed to repeat his haunted uncle's house story. And I'm not allowed to repeat my seagull embraces.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yes, my fun story. You sat on the edge of your seat, James.
Kind of.
Well, it's a fun story, but it started off as a bit of a scary story. So I was driving down a road that's 60 mile an hour, and I was doing 60. Well, I was probably doing about 50 because it was coming to a 30 zone. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, a Bentley turned up behind me. And obviously, yeah, that's kind of a car that you don't see all the time, but I still recognise, I saw that it was a Bentley. Mm-hmm. And so very uncommon kind of car, but still, it was 1 minute it wasn't there, and next minute it was there. So it must have been doing at least 100 down this road. Yeah, so I was doing, like I said, 50, and then when it came to the 30, I dropped down to do the 30 because, I'm a very good driver and whatnot. And he was right up my ass the whole way through. But there was other people on the other side of the road, so he couldn't overtake me. Or anything like that. So we got past this roundabout, and then it was free on the opposite side of the road. So he overtook me, probably doing about, I was still doing 30 at that point. So he probably was doing about 35, 40 at least. And the amazing part is that all of a sudden I saw him slam on his brakes, and then there was lovely little flashing blue lights. Oh,
excellent.
He was caught by the police and pulled over. But when he overtook me, I did the natural gesture of what a wanker, or tosser, or what I think tosser will probably do the wonderful gesture. And then when that happened, I was literally driving past, wetting myself laughing.
I have to say, there's a very evil part of me that enjoys the fact that when someone is caught who's creating problems like that on driving, it does give you a feeling of happiness.
It really does.
We've got the just desserts.
Yes, it really, really does. I almost wound down my window and said thank you to the police officer, to be honest. But, I thought, no, that's a bit far.
Probably not the most beneficial things to do at the time.
Well, I did stop myself, and I did tell myself not to do that. So, it was a good idea not to. But, still, it was a very victorious moment, I have to say.
No, I totally understand why. I'd be quite happy at that point.
Yep.
However much in a hurry that person must have been to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the driver or anything like that, but the fact that it was a Bentley and they were doing that speed almost sort of made me think that maybe they were had robbed it or nicked the car sort of thing.
Or
maybe.
alternatively, just be completely shit drivers.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's that. There's definitely that. So, I didn't, like I said, it all happened so quickly. I didn't actually see the driver to see if it was someone who looks like, I don't know if you should say looks like they should be in a Bentley or not, whether they look really scruffy or whatever. I don't know if that's PC or whatever, but, I imagine a type of person. I almost feel like it should be a person with what's a limo a chauffeur? Should be a chauffeur sort of outfit wearing.
Do you mean? I think what you're trying to say is you feel the car should be driven by a chauffeur.
Yes, is what I'm absolutely trying to say very poorly. I haven't got COVID, but my brain does do brain fart moments.
I've yet to see, because I've seen that a few Bentleys around where I am, and I've never ever seen one actually driven by to my knowledge, driven by anybody but the actual owner. They've never had a chauffeur. Though I did see a very nice Rolls Royce that might have been chauffeur driven recently. I couldn't tell. It had the most amazing tint I've ever seen on a car. So,
ooh. That sounds good. But again, to be honest, it's really rare to see anything like a Bentley in Weymouth. So, it's like, I don't know.
It's a treat for your week. You've got to see a nice car and you've seen the driver being punished.
Yes. And them drive. I mean, the part of it, them driving up, being quite close to me was quite daunting after the accident and whatnot. But, it was still absolutely 100% worth it. So I enjoyed every minute.
I was going to ask you what sort of Bentley it was, but I bet you wouldn't be any the wiser, would you? So
it was black.
Right, yeah. What sort of car was it? I don't know, a black one, a red one?
Look, the fact that I recognised it was a Bentley should be the moment of glory for me, okay? But no, I didn't reckon. I recognised that it was black, and that was it.
Okay. So, it's possible that we can find out Bentley drivers are in fact worse than Audi and BMW drivers.
Well, I mean, yeah, that one particular, yes, that one is. But the stories you tell me being an Audi driver, I'd almost say no. So, James, you had a question of the week for our Salty Tadpoles this week, didn't you?
Yeah, what chaos I created, by
you
putting
did.
a simple question out. It's part of my own fault. I sent it out just to people on my thing and then said to Gemma, hey, what do you reckon this is a question we should ask the Salty Tadpoles? And Gemma was understandably saw it and thought, hey, that's not a bad one. So we sent it out to the masses. So
shall I hand it over to you to take over for this bit then?
I don't think I've got every single answer that we had, but I've got as many as I could.
Okay.
I think more the ones that have gone to me, but feel free to step in.
There are two on our page, so I'll search for them while you're...
Yes. So the question I posed was, I want you to imagine you went back in time and met your younger self. You told them what your life is. Now, what would you make of it? Would you be happy, sad, angry, or what? And the question of what would you make of it is, what would your younger self make of it? So when I put it on my wall, a few people I know answered. So Downwood, who I used to work with, said she would be elated. That's all she gave me, but that's very good to hear. Graham Arnold put, young me would probably try to kill me. That young rapscallion. Bit worrying, Graham. Bit worrying. Bob Christian. Now, Bob took full advantage and actually had two things, one on mine and one on our wall, but he put on mine, I'd say my younger self will be very happy to know it all works out in the end. I'd then go out with him, in brackets me, and all our mates for a massive drink-fueled night of mosh pit, kebabs, and general all-round debauchery. Why not? One last party. Is Bob intending to die on that evening or something?
I don't know. I hope not.
Is he going to die and is he going to kill himself, his younger self? Anyway, maybe I've gone a bit too deep.
Yeah, I think you probably have there.
On the main wall, he put, I think my younger self would find in knowing that although I'm not the jackass star I thought I'd be, I've at least dealt with my demons and finally got a diagnosis that explained everything. And in brackets, he's put got Asperger's. He'd also be happy to know he's a father and grandfather, and he'd probably give me shit for being boring and settling down. So I guess I'd have to go out for a crazy night of drinking and debauchery one last time to show my younger self I still know how to get effed up, son. Well, would refer to himself as son. Anyway, nice.
Well, because it is his younger self. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Dee Clayton I used to work with put absolutely wonderful childhood full of fun and laughter, making our community hall happen, sponsor walks, etc., to raise money, brassing and on, I think she meant to put on Whit Fridays. The only thing that she didn't like was magic mushrooms. She put me off them for life, and she never eat a mushroom since. That's something I never knew about Dee, and I'm going to have to chase that up with her to find out what exactly happened. Lester Smulsky, who I know, put, I think he'd be completely fascinated with everything that I take for granted, and I would suddenly appreciate it more to a fuller extent. Carl Foley put, I would tell my younger self not to give up on my dreams, no matter how ridiculous they may seem, and to always go out of my way to help people. Basically, Carl, just be you, dude. Your life has an amazing path with lots of ups and downs, but believe me when I say you're going to be okay. I love that. That's really nice and positive, Carl. And James Higson just put a time paradox gif up.
Yes. I saw that as well, so I thought that was brilliant. We also did get some responses on Twitter as well. So shall I read those out for you?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay, so Colin Mag says, I think it would motivate me to try and change the outcome, but in doing so, I could possibly lose the good that has happened via my life choices and my health issues. So kind of a double-edged sword that I'm not sure if the outcome would be better or worse. Which is very good. Yep. And he's put, also, I'd be pissed at the future me for not bringing a few lottery numbers, investment opportunities, or invention ideas that would make me richer than Musk and co. So I could bring forth my plans to take over the world. He's put a little gif there of Pinky and the brain, but obviously the brain. Melissa from Brook Reading Podcast. I would tell them to maintain a savings account because despite how educated we become, we would still be unemployed. Also, you're going to start this amazing venture and meet fantastic people from all across the globe. Embrace it. It's the coolest thing you've ever done. And that's obviously about her podcast, and I agree. It is very, very cool. Mm-hmm. We've got Pitney and Amelia's Bitchin' Boutique. I would be shocked how fat I eventually got, because back then I was pretty tiny, but I was told so often that I was too fat that I was sure I must have been enormous, which I'm really sad to hear that, Amelia, but I'm sure you're wonderful, so don't you worry. But she continues with, but I would be fascinated that old me didn't seem to care much about the fat.
Well, you are wonderful however you are.
Yes, exactly. And a couple more. So we've got one from Josh Button, which is, unsurprised. I always liked the idea of settling down with kids, even if I did live pretty hard and fast as a young adult. That's good, Josh. And then finally, we've got Jay Ray from Politics with Dummies. My younger self was high a lot. I might have actually done this and thought it was a bad trip. Again, some absolutely amazing responses there, didn't we?
Absolutely. Very impressed. Some very interesting responses.
Yeah. I have to ask, what were you typing while I was trying to read?
I was trying to see if we'd had any more stuff go up on Twitter actually for it. So.
Okay. Well, as long as it was only for research purposes, that's fine. Did you want to get into some stories of the week, James?
Yes. I've only got one, but it cracked me up.
Okay. What story have you got?
Right. There's a lady, well, she's an adult, so she's still a teenager, I guess, who is one of these TikTok stars. Mm-hmm. Which has never been my bag, but I think I'm probably a bit, I don't know if I'm really the TikTok age group anymore. She's a lovely girl called Madison I think it's Cohout, or Cohoot, if anybody knows her. or knows of her or knows her directly, I'd love to have a chat with her, because I think she'd be wonderful to come on the show, because I think this is a very funny story. So she's met a Kahoot who's 19, so she was looking for a new place to live, and a large portion of us have been there, and we need to know about things. And at some point, we could move out from, say, our parents or our partners or whatever to live elsewhere. And she was looking for somewhere to live, and it says her first impression of the new place was very positive, that she decided to move to. Mm-hmm. The rent was significantly cheaper compared to where I'd moved from, because this is an American. Kahoot was saying, she told a magazine called The Insider, I was able to lease a 2-bedroomed apartment for only £350 a month. It was super spacious and felt like home. So she'd found this place and seen it online, and she moved into it days later. So she'd never even seen it in person, but she was obviously had seen the pictures and was so impressed by the reduced price that she was like, right, I'll go for it. And, money down, done. Yeah. So she went to the apartment, it says, and when I went out of my car, I started meeting some of my neighbours. And to my surprise, they were all over the age of 65, she said. After setting up at her new home, Kahoot realised what she'd done. A week later, I saw the sign reading Senior Citizens Apartment. I realised I'd accidentally moved into a retirement village.
Oh, it's amazing.
Kahoot told Newsweek that she moved into equal opportunity housing that didn't discriminate based on age, but was designed for senior citizens. Within the community's 10 apartments, she said, I'm the only teenager inside. Now, since the original post, Kahoot has made even more videos describing her life among seniors in Arkansas. Kahoot said she enjoys hanging out with her new neighbours, listening to their stories and eating delicious food. I've never had so many home-cooked meals in my life, she said. She said, also said in the video that the community is quiet, but her neighbours often ask her how she's doing when she gets home from work. Although it's not what she expected, Kahoot said she has no regrets about the move. I'm taking each day and every moment as an opportunity to learn, she said. Remember, if you're struggling with rent, start your retirement early.
That does sound good,
I just think that's a really nice story as well.
It definitely is. And also for that cost as well, 350 quid a month. That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
And the neighbours seem to look after her. She's nice and respectful to them, so...
Well, that's the main thing, isn't it? I mean, in this circumstance, it sounds brilliant. So, yeah.
It does
amazing.
Sound very good. Very, very good. I am impressed. I thought it was a strange but a nice story to bring to the table as well. So,
Yes, definitely. Well, I've actually got 4 in front of me, but I'm not going to read all of them. Let's see. Actually, I'm just going to read the one, and we'll have a bit of a shorter episode this week, but that's okay because we can always have a bit of a longer one next week. So my headline reads, hundreds of Joshes fight in a field to crown one true Josh, which just tickled me when I read the headline.
Okay.
Yeah. So, is your name Josh? If so, we're afraid to tell you that you have missed your chance to become one true Josh, the archetype of Josh, the perfect platonic form of Josh. Right, so this is obviously sounds a bit weird at this stage. That accolade has already gone to someone else, who was named as the champion of all the Joshes after fighting for the title. Does this sound a bit strange? I guess we've all gone a bit that way since the pandemic started.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, hundreds of people, all named Josh, have gathered together from all over the United States to take part in a duel. They armed themselves with foam pool noodles to battle each other yesterday after first playing a game of rock, paper, scissors.
What's wrong with these people?
Oh, it looks amazing. The photos look honestly amazing. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? They've all got masks on and stuff.
It's crackers.
Yeah.
It's crackers, but fun.
Yeah.
Or fun, but crackers. Depends how you want to look at it.
Yeah, exactly. And they've all got masks on that I can see in the photos, so which is really good as well. So, you know, they're doing it, but they're doing it very sensibly as well. It was all started by Josh Swain, 22, a student from Tucson in Arizona. I think that's right.
Nice.
You say that. Yeah, I think it's
Tucson,
Tucson.
Arizona, yeah.
Yeah. He got the ball rolling by messaging other people who shared his name on social media. So he messaged other people named Josh. After he chose the location at random, hundreds of people showed up at Air Park in Lincoln, Nebraska for the event. The KLKN TV report that Josh Swain from Omaha beat the original Josh at the grueling and righteous battle of rock, paper, scissors. In the subsequent pool noodle competition, which anyone with the first name Josh could enter, the victor was a 5-year-old who was given a Burger King crown. I love this idea. Josh Swain, the original Josh, said was... Hold on. Josh Swain, the original Josh, said was. That's written. Yeah. Surprised things became so big. I did not expect people to be as adamant about this as they are right now, he said. I think that might be the end of the story. Yeah, that's the end of the story.
The Metro.
Yeah. Of course. But what a brilliant idea. Like I said, all of the people that you can see in the photos have got masks on and stuff. But the fact that they all just came together to have a fun battle over the fact that their name was Josh. And, you know, they wanted to take the claim to be the most righteous of Joshes.
I think what you need to do is have a Gemma off and get as many Gemmas as you can, including yourself, in one public place. And have a massive Gemma off.
I think that sounds like a good plan, but I'm going to add a caveat to that as well. Basically, all the Gemmas with a G are on one side, and all the Gemmas with a J on the other. See who wins.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine that the Gemmas with a J get really pissed off with having to say, "Is that with a J?"
Gemmas with a J and Gemmas with a G go head to head. One has to survive. One doesn't.
Whoever wins claims right to the name. All of the Gemmas have to change it back to that way. Spelling.
I think that could be interesting.
It could be. It could be a lot of fun. Do you know what? I'm going to surprise us with a second one because this one's here and it's so cute that I really want to read it. So, a mutant baby shark with human face cut from mother's stomach. Oh, James, when I send you the pictures, you're going to just melt because they're so cute. You will go, aww. Or if you can mute yourself and Google it, that's fine. You can do that.
Yeah, I'll do it that way.
Is this something cute and endearing, or will it pop up in your dreams tonight, grinning at you with its evil eyeballs? Okay, I've changed the word, but it is evil. I've decided. A fisherman.
God.
It's so cool.
Oh my God, I don't like that. Oh, it's making me uncomfortable.
A fisherman in Indonesia has caught a baby shark. So, baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark.
I don't know what that is. My life is enriched not knowing that. Keep going.
Mommy shark, do 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 do, mommy shark, do 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 do, mommy shark, do 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 do, mommy shark.
So what? You keep doing that. I'll put the headphones down, go and get a drink, and when you've tuckered yourself out, I'll.
Okay, all right. A fisherman in Indonesia has caught a baby shark, but it's not likely to get anyone singing the famous song. Well, I did. So there we go. And James, I'll play it at the end of the episode so you can hear it. Oh, wait, you don't listen, so you won't hear it.
Exactly. Knock yourself out.
Yeah. This creature has a human face, and in our opinion, looks a little bit like Casper, the friendly ghost. If
They
Casper,
consider this friendly.
yeah, if Casper has run through a washing machine and joined the KKK, which I can kind of see.
Mm.
The man who found it fished it out in the sea near, oh my God, somewhere near he lives. To make things a little bit more disturbing, he first caught the mother shark, mommy shark, in a trawler net. Oh, it's a bit sad. And then they cut her stomach and they found 3 fetuses.
Yeah, it was in Indonesia, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it was Indonesia. Yeah, it's just that I couldn't pronounce the place, so I didn't attempt.
East Nusa Tenggara.
All right, show off. Ooh. I can't remember shit, but I can pronounce things.
Yeah, but don't worry, I won't remember any of this in a bit anyway. So.
Yeah, like Goldfish Syndrome.
Yeah.
There we go, there's our episode title.
Yeah, Goldfish Syndrome, definitely.
Yeah. Right, so continuing on with the story. 2 of them looked as if you might expect a shark to look, but one of them, as we said earlier, looked more like it would be able to start chatting to you about life in the deep sea. It reminds me of Moomins a little bit as well.
Is it real? Do you think this is legitimate?
I don't know.
It could be that it's just some weird mutant variant, that it wasn't going to look right, but I don't know. There's something about it that makes me wonder if it's fake.
Yeah, I mean, it might be fake, but it's still really good for this podcast. But it also reminds me of Mr. Burns when he has all of those injections.
Oh, yeah. I think he's an alien.
Yeah. The fisherman said he took the baby shark home to his family, who helped him to preserve it. He said the neighbours offered to buy the shark, but he refused to sell it. He added, "My home has been crowded with people who want to see the shark." That's good. He can get some money now. He can sell tickets to see the shark. "Many people want to buy it, but I will preserve it instead. I think it will bring me good luck," he says. And it's from the Metro, and it's finished. There's the story. There you go.
Okay.
The other 2 can be deleted until next week, maybe, or the week after.
It's a weird one. That's all I can say. It's a weird one.
It is a very, very bizarre one. We will put some pictures up as well when we post the episode up as well, so that people can see them, because I think it's necessary. I think that people need to see this baby shark. Baby shark.
I mean, it's bad enough that the image will haunt my dreams, but I will now have the song rattling around my head.
You certainly will. You didn't even know the song before you actually started this episode. Not properly anyway, did you?
Funnily enough, I didn't want to.
Well, James, I think that this is the perfect way to end this episode, because I think we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. What do you think?
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah. Well, in that case, then I've been Gemma.
I am still James.
And we've been talking enough Codswallop. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, you can stop recording now. Now.
I'm trying.
Now.